question is it really possible for us to have a spirit guide that has a different ethnicity to us? So I was asked this by one of my students quite some time ago. It was a Zulu lady who was learning with me, and when she picked up her guide, he was this English gentleman that she picked up, and so he turned out to be somebody who grew up in the UK somewhere as a aristocracy, and his name was John, and presented himself in a brown striped suit with a bowler hat and the umbrella, the whole, absolute ensemble of a aristocratic British gentleman. And she was quite surprised because she thought, being Zulu, that she would have somebody of a similar ethnicity coming through to be her spirit guide. And then, so, as I explained to her, our guides really don't have any ethnicity anyway. It is only us here on the earth who have chosen a specific ethnicity. So we've decided that we come to this lifetime, like me, as a white person and living a life in South Africa, and having all the things, I suppose, and to an extent, the privileges that go with being a white person, having all the struggles and the battles and the challenges that go with being a white person, growing up in South Africa, being born in the 50s. So just remember that when you hear people talking about their guides, a lot of people say, but so many people have red Indian guides, or so many people have, some Egyptian priestess or something like that, Yes, they do, and it's okay. It's not them trying to be kind of highfalutin or placing themselves in a higher space than anybody else, and it's not the ego that's presenting and making that up. They genuinely do have a red Indian guide, because if you think about our guides, they lived on this earth long before we did. So very possible that we're going to have spirit beings who are being our guides are going to be of an ethnicity that is no longer actually walking the earth. Just think about that. Or no longer walking the earth in the same way that they did. Living a life the way that they did as well. And then just bear in mind as well that our spirit guides will show us the last life that they lived. Generally, like 99.9% of the time, they will come through to us and show themselves to us as the last life that they lived. They might actually choose a life that was the best life that they lived. So not necessarily the last life. But from my experience and from what I know, they come and they show themselves as the last life that they live. So the chances that I'm going to get a white guide is like very slim, because at some point in time, like my guide is an African traditional healer, and at some point in time I was also an African. At some point in time I was Chinese, at some point in time I was Mongolian. Like we choose to come into different lifetimes on the earth, spending it in different locations, growing up in different cultures, and understanding how it is to live as an Eskimo, how it is to live as a powerful warlord in the 16th century. Just what I'm trying to say, and the point I'm trying to make, is that there's no relevance between what ethnicity you are now and what ethnicity your spirit guide is. So when you see somebody coming through, when you're trying to make that connection, and they don't look like you, and they don't kind of come from the same background and culture as you, just remember, you're not getting it wrong. You are picking up the right person, and that's okay. Like, it's what you want. You want to be able to pick up your guide, and the ethnicity actually doesn't really play any role in it at all.